Y'all people are weird. Y'all see. I'm gonna use my little indicator to show you what I'm directly looking at, even though if it's not directly obvious. This. What is that? That is the number 98. Y'all people are strange. Y'all, I never thought I would get this far. I thought I would plateau at 50, and it would just stop. And this is just impressive. But anyway, thank you. Truly. I don't really say it as much, but yeah. Thank you. And fuck you. I'm gone. God. Well, welcome, one and all, to What If Deku Was Dr. Octopus. We're going to start off pretty interesting. Izuku bagged Toga, so, and no, I said bag, not bang. Don't go there. No, I don't do ships, really. Kinda. But yeah. Once it comes down to brass tacks, it gets interesting. Izuku has a lot to think about. Because he doesn't know if he wants to crucify this one or turn her into a Nomu. Why? Because he would think that would be kind of comedic justice. But, first, I said that there was a specific someone that was in a vat. 9 was in a vat. So, let's get this started, shall we? When Izuku brings back Toga, he does the same protocol. But during that, he also, thought it would be relevant to figure out Nine's actual name. And he started looking it up. He figures it out eventually. Realizes, I need to steal files on this person. So, what he ends up doing is, hacking into the police station. And, looking for this man's name. Figures out he does kind of not really have a record already. Dr. Yujigo did tell him, Izuku, the plan for 9. And the fact that 9 does have friends that will be looking for him. Which, as soon as he remembers that from looking at 9, we're going to switch to the perspective of Chimera and his lady friend. Chimera and God, I forgot her fucking name. One moment. Slash. That was her name. Slash are realizing that the place where 9 was being held got fucking ransacked. They go to the try to find the doctor, realize he was found dead. Dead via crucifixion, and his cranium exploded. Which only means, God Damn it, I just found the net. Ah. Alright, we're back. That wasn't as long as I expected. But yeah, after they realized Doc's dead, Nine's gone, all the Nomus are gone, trying to figure out where the fuck he's at. And they don't owe all for one shit. Like, they're just trying to figure out where the fuck Nine is. They realize that, hey, there's these Hydra insignias all over the fucking walls. Walls, like, the fuck? And they find the note. Because All For One didn't really give a fuck about the note, so he didn't really take it off the wall. So, just kind of kept it there. So they seen it, realize, oh, this is bad. Oh, fuck. So, Izuku ends up making a quirk canceling collar. And, like, he doesn't wake Nine up, but he damn well puts it on him. Like, he's like, knowing his quirk, I don't want to fuck with that and the quirks that he has. This is gonna be weird. And, like, he just kind of looks at Nine, realizes, he's naked in a tube, I need to get him clothes. So, he just goes to a Goodwill, gets his size of clothes, like, basically a pair of white pants, like sweats, a long sleeve shirt, because that shit kinda probably gonna be cold, and he's in, like, gets, like, a really big bucket, because he's probably gonna vomit his eyes out, so, well, might as well get that shit. So, yeah. Izuku, after he has everything set, he flushes the liquids out of a container, and Nine wakes up immediately, puking his fucking eyes out. He's asking more questions, but it's like in between him puking and he can't really get words out. Oh. But yeah, after that, Izuku's just sitting on it, like sitting in a lazy boy that has like spider legs. Why? Because he wanted a fucking easier way to get around and be comfortable, damn it. So he's just chilling. And he was like, don't get a single drop on this floor. It is annoying to get out. Like, I dropped some of the liquid on this floor already. I don't want it. Like, it's a bitch to get out. And after Nine stops fucking vomiting, he's about to ask a question. Izuku says, shut up. Put some clothes on. I'm not trying to see your penis. And he was like, ah. Puts on clothes. Izuku points to a chair that has like some food and water. Nine sits after fucking collecting himself. He's in a pure white room with about 16 to 17, like, to his eyes, like weird looking statues. To Izuku's, armed and ready robots ready to rip this man to pieces if he tried. That's fuck shit. Like, he's not in the mood. So he says, so you are Nine then? And it's like, Where am I? What the? And he feels the collar finally. He's like, fuck, am I in prison? And he's like, no. No, you're in an undisclosed location at the moment. The, fine doctor couldn't really make it. He, got lost on a cross street, and for some reason it just blew his mind. Him catching the blowing the mind portion, but got lost on a cross street. That shit don't make sense to him. But yeah. Yeah, but when it comes down to it, Izuku explains the situation that he is now in. Explains exactly how he got here to this location. And the fact that basically telling him, I know about your thing. I know how to fix it. But I need loyalty. Nine, with the mentality of the strong should rule over the weak. Izuku pauses. He thinks, I mean, you're not wrong. But you know what's even better than the strong working for the strong? The smart and strong working for themselves on top. Now, you could preach about physical strength, but mental strength is something else. Because I have physical strength, but my physical faculties are lacking. I'm quirkless. And well, through intelligence, I became stronger and have been becoming stronger. The man, Dr. Yujiko, smart, but oh so foolish. He could think all he wants. Now that he's dead, he's working towards something good. Now, I have a question for you. If I told you there was a bomb placed in the back of your neck, on the base of your skull, would you believe me? And he's just looking at him, sipping some coffee. After that, and he says, well, no, I wouldn't. How about now, Izzy? This is a button on the back. Well, not on the back, on the armrest of the chair. And he hears a resounding beep inside of his skull. And he says, do you believe me now? He's like, Yes. Good. Now, that collar is no longer needed. And he presses a button, and the collar falls to the ground. Now that we have established a pecking order, here's what you're gonna do. There's a truck upstairs. You're gonna enter the back, and I'm gonna bring you to your first target. And he's like, fuck do you mean? Oh, simple. I'm gonna get you as strong as possible so I could throw you at someone. He looks at him, pausing and thinking. Alright. And, I'm going to run an errand, and these men will watch you with a devilish focus. And as soon as he says focus, 4 Nomu appear behind him. These are advanced Nomu that were given a more intellectual focus, such as Korogiri. Now, these creatures will watch you, and I will be watching as well. One of these creatures will knock out your target and bring them to you personally. With 0 noise whatsoever. And the others will have their eyes on you, making sure you don't do anything foolish. Consider them your keepers for now. Seven, the Nomu with grayish skin and a spiky, almost covering of fur, says, "Yes, Lord. Go. You are the one going to get the target. Make sure he is alive for extraction. Are we clear?" "Yes, Lord." 21-14. One more slender one. Longer hair. And with deep red eyes and a much more human physique, says, "Yes, Lord." Along with a much bigger, more imposing one. They say with a fervor, "Yes, Lord." What both of you will be doing is be watching number 9 here. Are we clear? No funny business will be tolerated. I have a chimera and a chick with fucking steel hair to go deal with. If I will see you shortly, 9. As Izuku actually uses the chair to actually set down, a four small wristbands appear, each of them grabbing one, slapping it on, specifically the Nomu and Izuku. Kind of just... And if I said 4 on accident, I'm sorry, I meant 3. So, yeah. Izuku having them go, do what was said. We're going to stick with number 7. 9, 13, and 21 get in the car, and a hologram appears as the driver and begins driving. It is a deathly silent ride. With 9, knowing that there are other people in this car, but he can't see them. I will let you know the quirks of number 7, 21, and 13 now. We're going to start with number 7. 7 and 21 are scout-esque espionage units meant for brief interrogation, smash and grab jobs, and assassination. 13 is a assault version with a fair bit of strength quirks to boot. After all, Muscular's body was quote-unquote buried. He damn well got some DNA from it. So, when it comes down to exactly how this happens, I'm going to say the man, in the Heroes Rising movie. Last time I think he works in like an office building. In esque scenario. The truck pulls into an alleyway. The back opens. 9 feels a shift as 7 leaves. Number 7 walks into the building without much of a fuss, following a man, and that was going in about 5-10 minutes earlier. You know, not earlier, but was just going into the building. He's walking, looking for the correct office. He finds it, and he's pretty happy. Never really thought that he would find it this quickly. He looks around specifically for cameras in the occurring hallway. They are on the 2nd floor, and in the office there is a window leading to the alleyway where the car is parked. Number 7 already with one of his 5 quirks enabled, flattens himself, of turning into a liquid. I believe the person from To's name was Zangetsu. He could turn into water. He basically has those abilities. Partial intangibility, that kind of shit. But, what was the other one? Yeah, he, reforms. The man not even noticing he was in there. Still invisible, mind you. He uses a slightly modified quirk that Izuku was able to fuck around with, called Body Snatcher. Those are 3 quirks that he could use. Now, the interesting thing about that he has to do with this, he has to go into his water form and force him to drink him. Which is weird. So what he does, still in his water-esque form, he makes a sound behind him in the room. He looks over there, realizes, ah, shit, my water fell over, and he stands up, goes to get it, and as soon as he bends down to get the water of the bottle that was opened flies up into his mouth, wrapping around his head and almost pulling him to the floor or away from things to like crash into and knock over, causing him to force feed himself to the man, making his eyes go a slight shade of green for a moment, go back to normal color, stands up, and during this he also has 2 other quirks that would activate as soon as Body Snatcher would go off. Specifically, it would be Mind Reader and Mimic, because he can't, for some reason, mimic dude's voice when he takes over the body. Sadly. But, when it comes down to it, he is kind of interesting when it comes down onto how he wants to do things. But, yeah, Mimic has to be used so he could at least sound like him. Now, he does have the same gait as him, but his mannerisms change because he's not in control. But, yeah. He walks out, goes to his boss's quarters. Well, not quarters, but office. Tell him he has to go home early. All this shit. Well, not go home early, but you know what I mean. He has to go check on something, family emergency. Goes outside, goes into the vehicle, and starts vomiting out water, which then 13 wraps his arms around him, not allowing him to either defend or move. But, yeah. 9 begins the process of absorbing the first one. And hopefully the last one will come easier. this man subsequently dies after this because what can I say? Izuku has all of his information now. It would only be an info breach if they let him live. So what Homie has due to him is like keep him warm enough. Specifically by Homie, I mean in 21, she could like increase the temperature of shit because she's used to getting rid of bodies. That's one of her uses, getting rid of bodies. So yeah, warming up his body, making sure his entire body is still warm, about the same type of warm as he entered the car. So it seemed like hey, he died pretty recently. And what he does, Twin One uses her third quirk, teleports his ass onto the roof of a building, and like clockwork has him seemingly using a quirk known as puppeteer, could use inanimate objects and hold them as fake strings appear as such puppets, like puppet strings. Things would basically kind of be like existing but not there. And perfectly like make a suicide. Like, because you know how in like movies and shit, like killer shows where like this person was clearly pushed. No, it looks like this person jumped. Oh, Tommy, there ain't no way in hell they didn't. Because people fucking seen his ass like jump off, and clearly like apparently no one else was there. So yeah, police are called, all that shit. People don't know that this wasn't a suicide. So yeah, 9 only has one other person to go to, and he's like a little bit younger too, so it's kind of going to be a lot easier to get him. And since like they already kind of know where he is, and nothing special's happening yet, it's kind of weird. As soon as like that happens, we're gonna switch to Izuku's perspective. Walking around a specific warehouse looking for 2 people. Well, technically 3 people, because a fucking mummy that are bandages. One of the 2 don't remember, don't really care. Here, his quirk kind of fucking strong though. But yeah, he finds these 2 people. Sorry, 3. I keep forgetting about him. I'm sorry. It's just I can't. Bad memory retention. Anyway, when it comes down to it, Izuku just kind of walks up to them, just like in the middle of the street, not giving a fuck, like they know each other, and he just says, "Do you want to know where 9 is?" Like flat as fuck. And like all of them stop and just look at this kid. And I'm like, "You're gonna follow me and you're not gonna try any shit." And he's just gonna walk off after that, like giving them no other information, just telling them to get stepping. And they follow. they start going to a less populated part of town. So, like, they're really starting to think about it all the way until Izuku says, I really don't suggest you think about it either. It's just a really fucking stupid idea. After all, I'm a fake, so if you fucking do something to me, Nine's ass is basically kaput. So, don't shoot the messenger, bitch. He's just walking. He goes to his junkyard. Alright, at this point, a truck is pulling up. Trash truck. Like, pulling up right next to the hideout where he presses a button. Like, a lot of, like, trash moves, and he says, come on. They begin walking down. Mummy is still, like, looking at this truck, which he sees open. He doesn't see Nine, but he does see a couple more people seemingly walking in behind them. They don't notice Nine yet. Nine notices them, though. He's about to say something, and, like, a hand goes over his mouth, and he's like, shush. Just don't. This is a test. Just to see if that's actually fucking them. And he's like, so, turns around. And abruptly, in this room, like smack center of it, as a chair falls from the ceiling, lands on its spider legs. Izuku sits down, and there is immediately, like, another small drone that just hands him a coffee. And he's like, oh, there we go. Anyway, Nine, you could come out now. And like, they finally let Nine through, along with the other people, specifically 7, 21, and 13. And they begin. Nine explains what happened, and they're kind of pissed. And they're thinking about fighting Izuku, and he's like, oh, really? Oh, that's hilarious. And as soon as he says hilarious, seemingly the statues, all of the fucking little, like, well, not little. Remember, these are the assault model actual robots from what happened with All For One. All of their eyes turn red and they stomp once on the ground. And they all realize, oh, fuck, we are surrounded. And he's like, yeah, how about you sit down, all of you. 21, 7, 13. You are dismissed. They all reply with, yes, Lord. They go off, open the door, and leave. Izuku says, do you want to know why 9 isn't a Nomu? Because I find you people interesting. Useful, actually. Now, 9, do you know how you got those quirks? I'm curious. Are you smart? Are you fucking incompetent? I want to see that specifically. Because I could tell you are a vicious combatant from your file. You burnt down half a fucking city. You wrecked an entire place. What if I told you, all of you, that the quirkless kid who sits in the chair holds the most power in this room? Well, not quirkless at the moment, not anymore at least. Dr. Yujiko's research really helped me make synthetic quirks, which are fucking useful. Whew. But more importantly, I want to ask you all something. Do you wish to walk among sheep? And he smiles when he says that. Now, no one understands, so Nine's like, going further detail. And he's like, well, I have an idea. A possibility, in fact. That as soon as what I want to do is finished, the population with the sharpest claws will be on top. It will be how God intended. The strong survive, and the weak are eaten and fed to the stronger. Or they do what I did. Use their intelligence to make them stronger. Their claws sharper, etc. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have an offer. An offer that you can't refuse. I give you an option to get the world that you want. But know one thing. Quirks are never created equal. Especially when you have a quirk like mine. And I have a question for you. Nine, is it? Do you think you could kill me without my technological know-how and just the power that I have now? Naturally, do you think you could kill me? I'm curious. I want to see if you're worth my time. Nine is paused and is waiting. Like, he's trying to figure out why this kid is so calm. Like, oh, fuck. I'm sorry. I almost forgot to mention. The Nomu did... God damn it. And, like... the Nomus did take time to make, so inevitably some time has passed since sometimes since I did a time skip. It took like a month for the Nomu thing to get sorted, which then it took like All For One still trying to figure out who the fuck is this kid, like, because like it or not, like, All For One didn't know who the traitor was, so the traitors kind of left bobbing in the water, right? They don't have any fucking idea. They don't know a single goddamn thing. Not at all. So, yeah. Oh. Anyway. But, yeah. Also, like, he has maintained friendships with Mina, like, Frobby, and all those people. I just kind of went over it. He still does go clubbing and shit. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting. Interesting. Why? Simple. No one, like, people are starting to kind of recognize him because of, like, the publicity. But, like, some people aren't saying anything that actually do recognize him. And, like, out of everyone, the people that do recognize him, like, don't really care. Like, they know he's smart enough. And clearly has been, like, hung over in class. Aizawa seen him. Like, like, Aizawa and him did talk. But Izuku just flat out said, I don't drink till I'm, like, shit-faced, like some stupid people. I did it once, didn't like it. Learned how to drink properly. And then I'm good. But, yeah. Even then, I, like, have a fuck ton of, like, bread back at home, so, like, I just inhale, like, a lot of shit. It's so, like, when I'm drunk, like, the hangover doesn't hit me as hard. So, yeah. Him and Aizawa, like, don't really talk to each other that much when they do see each other. Like, they talk, they say sup, and then they leave. They go to opposite sides of the bar. So, like, they could say, yeah, no, we didn't see him. I didn't see him. I don't know what you're talking about. Which is fucking hilarious. Out of, like, all of the people, though, the person that likes him, like, the most, like, sees him as he's a very nice kid. I want to see if I could try to make that interesting. Which, yeah. Which is Mina. Which is Mina Ashita. So, yeah. They do go clubbing more frequently because that's just them. Izuku, Hoopa, and then her have been talking, so I'm alluding to, like, hey, my second ever ship. Yeah. But, when it comes down to, like, back to present time, when it comes down to, like, 9 thinking he doesn't know on why this kid is so fucking smug or whatever. He just doesn't know. Which, like, Izuku sees on his face and makes him giggle a little bit. And he's like, oh, that's hilarious. Oh, that's funny. That face. That face is funny. And he's like, and Nine the entire time was stone faced. And he was like, what? You don't know. Do you? You're doubting yourself again. You could level fucking cities. And you're doubting yourself about me. I thank you for the compliment. Truly. But anyway, let's stop like fucking around when it comes to the fucky shit. You wished to have a world where the strong rule. I need more people that will work for me. And that will seemingly have interest in other things. Such as, but not limited to, I don't know, application of becoming heroes. And he does this with quotations, which they all look confused, and he says, what are you planning? And it's like, oh, simple. I plan on making a hero agency. And when everything I need to do is done, specific people are no longer able to be in the picture, I'ma drop the fucking world on its ass and beat the dog shit out of it until I see on each corner of every country of this world flies the Hydra. That is what I want. So, that's the offer. Will you take it? Nine says, I don't really have a choice in the matter, do I? Do y'all agree with him? We follow Nine. So, we're kind of stuck with you, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah, you are. This went a lot better than I expected. I'd expect to have to kill all of you. Huh. We'll keep an eye on you for 5. Yeah, no, 4. I'm stupid. I'm tired and a bit hungover. But anyway, when it comes down to what I said about becoming heroes, that is after we solve Nine's dilemma. I figured out where your next target is. He will be at the funeral. A man who we took the powers of. So, I'm gonna look at Nine. That funeral's gonna be in a couple days. I know for a fact the kids are gonna be there. They gotta be. Right? And since he was working kinda close with S.H.I.E.L.D., I'm pretty sure that they'll set him up with a place. Place on I Island, so even if we don't get him there, we're getting their asses on the boat. Now, we're gonna go over to Night Eye's perspective. Night Eye just has a feeling in the back of his head that he cannot shake. Like something is wrong. Like, it's weird. He's just like, he tried to use his quirk multiple times. Nothing happened. Not a damn thing. And he's like, fuck. I don't like this. And like, there is still a fair bit of crime because Izuku has been stirring the pot like a motherfucker to cover up his actions. Causing gang wars between quirked gangs and shit. Just generally causing chaos. Us to kind of stir. And, he starts thinking more and more and more. He stops and smiles, remembering what he could do to make sure this shit goes smoothly. So, he realizes that the two children will be coming to the funeral. And Izuku knows exactly what to do. Kind of high stakes and kind of weird, but there will be enough people there. And it will be a closed casket, so that kind of hits different when you can't see your relative's face when they're getting put in the ground. But anyway, back to it. What Izuku does to the cemetery staff of the location is simple. Like, they figure out, like, hey, we're gonna need to, like, wipe everyone, like, an hour before it's, like, the funy starts. So, like, legit, like, an hour before the funeral starts, Izuku, Nine, Chimera, and, like, I'm gonna say, ooh, what is this? Heh, I'm gonna watch that shit later. They all just kind of, like, roll up, like, kind of just kill everyone. Nine makes sure that it's, like, clean-ish. Well, at the very least, as clean as it's gonna get. With, like, stabbing people in the cranium and shit. But, yeah. Not after long, everyone's dead. The cameras get wiped of all information. And they are ready. Izuku putting a, quick old little, not camouflage, what was it? Hologram over himself to make himself appear like a somewhat elderly man. And the priest that's supposed to be there is more specific. because he kind of just wiped out a church. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So when everything's happening, funerals in full swing, people are fucking crying, fucking emotional. Well, and I'm gonna say, for shit, because of shits and giggles, the fucking Shield family is there. Which Izuku realizes, and he shoots a text towards everyone, and he says, "Yep, we are kidnapping the David Shield's daughter for ransom." And it's like, oh, good, even more money. But yeah. So everyone's ready. People, all of the group, even Chimera has to have like the fucking hologram field up, which works to an extent. But yeah. He is positive for a fact that this will be easy as fuck. It's not going to be a question. And then, there is then they go with it. When they're taking the body outside, like his friends, his family, like his brothers and shit, fucking pick up the coffin, take it outside. Right, to bury it. That's when 2 people go missing, and no one notices, because Henry Shield is one of the people holding the coffin, and 2 kids, well, technically 3, are in the back, which Izuku just kind of hit them both with a knockout syringe, and just like, that's when they left, and they just bounced. They were like, and we're gone. Like, we leave now. They go across the street, dropping the disguises about 1.5 blocks away. Hey, when they begin to hear sirens, they throw them in the car. Or they begin driving. He gags, blindfolds both of them. 9 puts his hand on the kid, unfucking himself. From his powers drawback, finally. Which he's pretty fucking happy about. And, yeah. He's happy. He's, happy as fuck. I don't know if the kid dies from this. No, for real. I don't know if 9 doing that kills the kid. I need to go check that out real quick. So, from what I have looked up, the kid wouldn't die. So, that's a plus. And like, after 9 kind of got him, just kind of got what he needed, he just said, we might as well just leave the kid. Because the kid, neither of them really seen anything of what happened. So, now what do I mean by seeing anything? I mean, like, they just believe that, like, dead ass, they got shot with a hypodermic needle, and both of them passed out and were catched and were drug off. That's it. After 9 got the kid's ability, or whatever the fuck he needed to, like, stabilize his, like, cell death, was good. And they just kind of, like, left him. Like, near an alleyway on the opposite side of the city. More closer to a police station. The kids, a cop eventually does find him, and there is also a note on there that says, "We want $2 billion for the safe return of insert person here." Well, actually, no, it wouldn't be there. After that, All Might would start looking into it. He still has a fair bit of embers left because he didn't fight the fucking Nomu. He didn't fight All for One. Dead ass. There ain't much, right? There isn't that much that they would do. Like, All Might would be looking for her, don't get me wrong, and Heroes would be out in fucking force. And David would get a letter marked, seeming to be like from the tax company, opens it up because it actually like is important. It's one of those important tax documents. But he opens it, there's a video inside. He plays the video, and it basically explains, if you do not give us, I'm not going to think of an amount of money. I'm personally just going to think about, hey, let's just think of more specifically, like, what's going to happen if he doesn't pay said money, because it's an exorbitant fee for his daughter's life, and it is said on there, "I will kill your daughter with no hesitation if I figure out that you have told All Might, also known as Toshinori Yagi, this information." And that's when the video cuts out. Now, Izuku has a drone. Well, not a drone, but like 21 and 17 on rotation, watching the house, and specifically David, while Izuku is tapped into his phones, literally all of them, because it's not hard to get at someone's shit while they're sleeping. So yeah. And like, Melissa doesn't wake up. The reason why I say that, simple. He's keeping her ass sedated. Like, don't leave her ass awake. That's a bad idea. Yeah, we'll give her a drip feed, and we'll leave it at that. Yeah, don't need it. So, yeah, they literally just, let's like, put her on drip feed. Dealt with that shit. So, a week after Melissa being kidnapped, All Might coming up with fucking nothing. And like his entire like place he is staying being bugged to shit. And like with like very small like cameras and shit just all over the place. He caves. But he's not stupid, so he tries something stupid, which was a bad idea. So he he's thinking, and he's like getting so frustrated that he's thinking out loud. You know, like some people like don't really do that because he doesn't think that they're going to be watching his fucking house like this professionally, right? So they're like, he's like, no, what, fuck it, I'm gonna put a tracker in the suitcase. Yes. And as soon as Izuku hears that shit, he's like, I hate doing this to pretty chicks. And he like walks over. Over to Melissa. Cuts a finger off. Puts it in a small box. And like legit, same day that he said that. The same day, like zero waiting time. Like 21 gets a small box. Ox brings it back, gives it, well, sets it on the door. Fucking bangs on it like a crazy person. Still invisible, and gets away. Meanwhile, door gets opened. He looks around, sees a box. Unmarked. Looks shady as fuck. He's scared. He picks up the box. He hears two things rattling around in there when he shakes it. He brings it inside, shuts the door. Right. Izuku then proceeds to do something which we're going to cut back to him for. Izuku kind of gave Melissa a quirk because he's a softie. He feels bad. He gave her regeneration to like unfuck her finger, which dude's gonna be pissed already. And Shield gets like the shit scared out of him as he sees his daughter's finger. And another CD, which, like, scares the fuck out of him. Him, like, he's just frozen, like, looking at his daughter's finger and a CD that says, "Play me, or I take another finger." That's like, okay. What the fuck? And he's like shaking, putting the CD in. And Izuku had the picture of Hydra plastered over the screen as, well, since Melissa was still unconscious, specifically 7 used Mimic to mimic her screaming in pain. And after, like, there was a chopping noise and her sobbing, and he just says, "That's for even thinking about it. Putting a tracker in the briefcase. You will not move from that house until we get our money, or I cannot assure your daughter's head. This is a warning." Warning. I repeat, think about some fuck shit again, and you will get a corpse in return. No more chances. Do, or I just sell her to the slave market. I don't really give a fuck. And that's where the video ends. Which sent chills up his spine. Which kind of makes him like lose his defiant backbone because he's a father. Father gets all the money out of his bank account. And his savings, put all that shit like on a check. Well, not on a check, like in cash. And like puts it in a briefcase. And like Izuku nodded a couple times, seeing like how much money is in the briefcase. And like going frame by him counting the money to put in the briefcases. And he's like, okay. Send another message. Same size as a finger. We're not going to put anything in there but a paper slip with an address. So, what David Shield does, he's like, he didn't tell me a drop-off point for my daughter. He didn't. Fuck. Which, then, almost immediately, there's the exact same knock on his door. Or, with the same size box. With a note that just has an address. Yes, and it literally, it has a picture of her daughter's eye, like not like out of her skull, but like her eye forced open with like, he poured water on her face to make it seem like she was crying. And snapped a picture of that shit. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, and he just, as on the bottom of that note as well, with the picture of his daughter's eye closed up to the camera. And under that it says, "We'll be watching. You go now. No questions." Questions. Bring the CDs. All of them. Which he does. And he would have said as well as the finger. Because I'm stupid. Oh, but I forgot to say that. Which, like, he reluctantly takes. Because he put that thing on ice. Because he's like, maybe I could get it reattached. But it's like, no. No, it's been too... well, actually, it might not be. I don't know. But, he goes to the place. And, a hologrammed version of the guy that was running the entire little thing. And yes, I know I didn't talk about Togi yet. I know, I remember. But yeah. What happened with the deal was, you know, the old man that was like the old prior. I was working at the funeral. That's who we transformed into using holograms to count out the cash in front of him and to make sure that it's all there. And which only added even more fucking tension to the air. Because he could see his daughter with a finger, which confused the fuck out of him. And he just says, "What the fuck?" And he's just like looking at the finger, which, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, like, it was already kind of raining that entire day, and it's spilling over into the night, which was caused by a very specific person, which has weather manipulation, which is fucking great anyway. Okay, but yeah, what happened was, like, Izuka threw it on the floor, like in the middle of the road, far away, and like 9 was kind of waiting in the wings for, like, as soon as they left, that spot was gonna get hit with so much fucking lightning. Lightning, you ain't gonna find anything of that finger left. This is gonna be ashes. But yeah. After that, all the money's there. He says, Good doing business with you, Mr. Shield. Good doing business." As he just picks up all the money, walks off, stops. These aren't the ones with trackers in them, are they? Boy. It's like, no. Which they aren't, because he swears to fuck he's bugged. Like, there has to be bugs. There fucking has to be. Which, as this meeting is happening, 7 and 21 are fucking taking all the bugs out. Like, almost immediately, which helped. So yeah, Melissa, no longer quirkless, got regeneration. Asian fucking parents don't know that. And yeah, all that shit happens. They kind of drive off, and as soon as that happens, fucking 16 bolts of lightning fucking converge on one position, looking like some sort of lightning vortex, just fucking wrecks that part of the road. Which, as soon as that happens, like, he realizes that he doesn't have his phone on him. Fuck! Like, he's mad because he forgot his phone back home. They took the bug out of that too. So they debugged everything and left, like, before he got back. So yeah. After that, he immediately gets home, calls All Might and the police. Lets them know what happened. And, like, there was a note left in another DVD. And it was like, "To Toshinori Yaki." Okay. "To be played in front of you and your successor, Mirio Togata." As a video is played. And this is in a different voice because Mimic is amazing. And this is what the message says. "Your and my newfound enemy is now working over what the Yakuza once was. Your ex-sidekick, Night Eye, has been dealing with that. Well, at least trying to. But they went dark recently because, well, the League of Villains is not going to be a problem for your people. During that boy, who was he? Izuku Midoriya's escape. Alpha One chased him. I sent in some drones to clean up. So, I did. And I did so, leaving no survivors, except for 2 fucking people. And that bastard, Alpha One. But don't worry. He will be dead soon. And we can put this behind us. Now that I know who you are closest to, I'm going to manipulate you and your successor like a fucking puppet. Mirio, I would like to ask you to call your father. And if he is not in the room, I suggest to you he is, and I hope he is. After all, Mr. Togeda is kind of tied up at the moment. That was terrible. Jesus. But, yeah, more info if you call your daddy. And, that's where it's going to end. Hope you all enjoyed this extra long episode. And soon I'm going to wrap this up in, probably 2 more episodes. Maybe. It depends on, how busted I want Izuku to be. And if he could fucking, manage his goals properly. But, yeah. After that, thank you, all of you who subbed. And, there's also a notion called, go fuck yourselves.